Yo, what's up everybody? It's Duke back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 21 video, I'm going to break down all the new pass rush moves and abilities in Madden 21, how to master them, which ones are the most effective, which ones I don't really like, and how to use each one in different situations. So, we're going to start this video off with all of my favorite ones, and my favorite one overall is definitely El Toro, guys. El Toro, if you take a look, is going to be a dominant bull rush win from max pass rush points. Now, I want to get into showing you some clips of these abilities and moves and how to utilize them best. And then at the end of the video, I'll kind of just show you each player that has the different abilities and go into more depth about each ability and who has them. But I want to get into some clips first and foremost. But before we do that, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on our videos. We do daily uploads for Madden 21 tips and gameplay and news. And if you're really showing the love, smash that like button, guys. If you want to get better at Madden 21, make sure to head over to sportsgamers.com for the best Madden 21 tips and ebooks. We have great defensive and offensive guides out for sale. The Champions Kit package, which gives you access to that, and our Madden Vault membership, which gives you weekly tips all year long, guys. So without further ado, let's get into some clips of these moves and abilities. So starting off with El Toro, several players have this on regs in the game. Fletcher Cox on the Eagles is one. It's essentially going to be a dominant bull rush move, and you can do it from many formations. We're just going to use nickel here. Play doesn't really matter. So the way to utilize this is with the right analog stick. I'm just going to go ahead, run any play. So we want to, user El Toro is my favorite way to do it. And you're going to see if you have the full pass rush move bar, you're pretty much going to instantly win this. All you got to do is you want to hit down on the right analog stick, guys. And you're going to see that he's going to pretty much immediately win on his pass rush as long as the meter is full. You can do this with players that have also extremely high power move, but El Toro is going to pretty much make it this guaranteed win, just like you guys can see here. He's throwing the O-lineman to the ground. So this is by far my favorite move just because it's just so dominant. You can pretty much rely on it winning, like I said, every time for the most part, as long as the meter is full. Just like this, just throwing him to the ground. Extremely dominant move. Alright, so now we're going to look at Myles Garrett. He's a pretty interesting player because he has El Toro and he has the edge threat. So you can utilize him in different ways. Now, again, I'm going to show you one more example of El Toro. You guys need to pay attention to this one because it is super glitchy and you need to utilize this if you want a user, a D lineman. So again, it doesn't really matter the play, the formation. I do like using the El Toro at D tackle though. I just think it works a little bit better to isolate them on a guard. And again, make sure you pay attention to his pass rush meter. If it's full, it's pretty much going to be a guaranteed win. If it's not, he can still win. It just might not be guaranteed instantly every time. And again, if you use a player very high power moves, they can do this too. But the El Toro ability is going to be more effective because again, it's kind of going to, like last year with certain abilities, guaranteed the catch or the accurate throw. You can still catch the ball or make accurate throws without the ability. The ability just guaranteed it. Same thing goes here. So again, guys, you're going to see. Look at just how we just immediately run him over. Absolutely ridiculous. We're just going to go down here. But you can't get any better than that. So if you want to use our player, El Toro is definitely going to be the move, guys. He is going to absolutely destroy the O-lineman instantly. Look at this. This is an instant just get up off me. Throw him to the ground. And we're coming right at the quarterback. Super fast. So you definitely are going to want to utilize this El Toro move. It doesn't get any better than that. So you guys can see again, notice now he still has his pass rush meter full. So that means he's going to be able to do this again, if we so choose, for the easy sack. I mean, again, just super dominant. I love Myles Garrett because he can use El Toro again. He still has the meter full. We can do it again if we want. But now I want to show you edge threat. So you can use or rush him with El Toro, or you can just put him on the edge and let him do his thing by himself. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys this. Just going to pick nickel normal. Again, doesn't really matter the play or the coverage. Just let him do his thing. So we're going to go ahead and come out and any play on offense doesn't really make a difference. You guys are going to see that this is definitely as far as, not having the user the pass rusher, the edge threat elite or the edge threat is going to be the most effective thing you can do. It's definitely a lot more effective than just trying to let a guy with like the swim club or those type of abilities just do it on their own. If you want to let them do it on their own, just like you see there, edge threat or edge threat elite is definitely the move for you. As you can see, he got that pretty much instant win, and now his X factor actually has been activated. But you guys can see he's pretty much getting that instant win off the edge, got right around the tackle for the easy sack. So if you're not going to use a player on the line and you want to play coverage, I would definitely look at the edge threat elite abilities. Obviously, edge threat elite is a little bit better, but again, you guys can see that this pressure is crazy. I know he does have his X factor activated, but we're just going to do another one or two more examples. You can see every play, he's immediately basically getting that win. So edge threats and edge threat elites, if you want to play in coverage, are huge on this year's game. So now that you've seen this, I want to go over a few more of the I guess you could say, pass rush moves that you can use as abilities on other. Okay guys, so now let's look at Ripper. Ripper is a less common ability than a lot of these other ones in this video, but you guys can see Geno Atkins has it here, and it's essentially a rip rush move, partially to ignore the blocker's resistance. So I'm going to show you a little clip of it to show you guys how it works, and this is definitely going to be a move that you're going to want to use her. It's not as effective if you let the CPU do it. So now let's look at Ripper in action. Ripper, like I said, it's a good move if you want to use her. You're a pass rusher, but it's not that great if done by the CPU. So to do Ripper, basically you're going to want to use her the rusher, and you're going to want to use the right analog stick, hold it up at the snap, and you're going to get that rip animation just like that. And you get through pretty quickly for the sack. If you take a look at the replay, it's not quite as good as El Toro, which is why I say that if you want to use her a pass rusher, El Toro is definitely the best one. This one still looks pretty good though, as you guys can see we rip through, but it's just not that immediate bull rush win like El Toro is. So it's still very good, just not quite as good as El Toro. I will say, if you're going to use someone in coverage and not use the Ripper to pass rush yourself, it's not as good. As you can see, you don't really get in that fast. So like if you're gonna want to use a Ripper, it's good, but if you're gonna want to play in coverage, it's not that great in my opinion. You're better off using the edge threat ability. So next we're gonna look at Swim Club. Swim Club is another pass rush move that you're definitely gonna want to best utilize if you user it. It's not the best ability or move to use if you're not going to use it. So a few different players have it. Bosa, for one, is an example. He has edge threat too. And another example I like is DeMarcus Lawrence. He has Swim Club and also he has edge threat again. Again, you guys can see the Swim Club is basically a Swim Club move, and it's partially going to ignore blocker resistance. So it's similar to the Ripper that we just showed. It's just a different move, different ability, but a similar type of result. So let's get into a clip of it. So we got the Cowboys use Marcus Lawrence to show the Swim Club move. You're going to want to use this with, again, a user rusher. I don't really recommend doing it and playing in coverage. So we got the Marcus Lawrence again. The play doesn't really matter. We just want to showcase the move itself. We're just going to use dime. And we're going to go against some shotgun on offense. So let's take a look now. We'll go with the wide trips a week. Again, play doesn't really matter. It's all about the actual move itself. So we're going to use her the pass rusher. And again, always pay attention to the pass rush moves meter. It's very, very important to make sure you can perform these moves. And so you guys can see, get a little swim move to the inside. And the way I did that was to hit to the left on the right analog stick. You guys can see we were easily able to get inside. Take a look at the replay really quickly to show you guys how that works. And again, works pretty well as a user rusher. As you guys can see, we were able to, once we got on the tackle, hit the right analog stick to the left to swim to the inside of the tackle and get in free for the sack. Now, is it as quick as Ripper or El Toro? Probably not. I still think El Toro is by far the best, with Ripper second, and then this one would be third in my mind. Keep in mind, DeMarcus Lawrence, he also has edge threat himself, so if you just want to let him rush with the CPU, that works well too. But as you guys can see there, the swim move is very, very effective to get inside that tackle. Now, same thing though, if you're going to go ahead and let him do it on his own, pass rush on his own, it's not as good, but because he does actually have edge threat, he still will get some pretty good pressure on his own the majority of the time. Not quite as quick there as we would have liked, not quite as quick as we've seen with someone like Myles Garrett, but still, any player that does have edge threat will get a lot of pressure on their own. So let's move on. Now we're going to show you guys which players have which abilities. So you guys can see that a lot of players do have these different abilities. We're going to show you guys now which players you can find each ability on. So for the Edge Threat Elite, it's one of my favorite abilities. Again, you guys can see Bosa has the Edge Threat. It's a great ability to user or not user, doesn't really matter. It works great for the CPU or if you want to use your pass rush. He also has the Swim Club, which is okay. Not my favorite, but it is decent. You guys can see as far as the El Toro goes that Myles Garrett has it. There's a decent amount of players that have El Toro. Also, you guys can see that Chris Jones and the Chiefs has it. Obviously Fletcher Cox has it. Grady Jarrett, he has it too. You guys can see here he has El Toro. But there's other players. Let's see here. Obviously, Aaron Donald has it. And as far as the edge threats, a lot of players have that too. Calais Campbell has it. I will say the edge threat elite is a little bit better. As you can see, Cameron Jordan, he has edge threat elite. I think that is a little bit better than just a simple edge threat. But again, I love both of them as you've seen in the video. But these pass rush moves are extremely effective. Again, you can see that T.J. Watt, there's a ton of people. J.J. Watt actually has El Toro as well and Swim Club. So, there's a lot of different players that you can find these abilities on to do these moves. Daniel Hunter, again, he has edge threat elite. Now, Speedster is just essentially just using the turbo button to get around the blockers. Don't really like that one. To me, it's nowhere near as effective as the others. But, other players as well, not just defensive linemen. Outside linebackers could have the edge threat. You guys can see here, Barrett, he has edge threat on the Bucks. Von Miller, he has it obviously. And he also has Adrenaline Rush, which is a nice ability because if you get a sack, all your pass rush points are restored. That's big, making sure you can continuously do your moves. Again, Khalil Mack, he has edge threat. So for the edge threat guys, I like using them at the end if I'm running, say, nickel or like a 4-down line set. Now, if I'm running like a 3-4, I like to use them at outside linebacker. El Toro, I like to use it at D tackle. You can put it, even if it's a D end, to sub them at D tackle, get that one-on-one, and you're going to run them over every time as long as they have their pass rush points meter filled up. It's an instant win. It's the most dominant one. You can use her an El Toro guy and cause havoc. Now, as far as the edge threats, like I said, those will work well whether you use them or not. So if you're wanting to play in coverage, that's probably your best bet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video breaking down the new pass rush abilities and moves, how to utilize them most effectively, and, definitely improve your defense. You guys see there's a lot of new abilities this year, and we're going to go over them to make sure you guys understand how to utilize them the best. Till next time, it's Duke, and I'm out of here.